Hello, this is John with Anthem Business Solutions, and today we're going to go over how to create a ticket or how to start a transaction, however you want to word that. So down here you should have your rooms, so you'll need to be in the appropriate room. If you're a quick service, you may see like a dine in or eat in, and then a to-go option, etc. So just make sure you're in the right room, and then you should have a blue new ticket button. So you press that, and it starts the ticket for you. It gives you a ticket number up here right away, and shows you the ticket number up here. It may or may not default you to the info screen, which is this button here where it shows ticket information and customer information. It just depends on your settings whether or not you see this, but if you do, just click over here in the total due area and it'll take you to your menu items. This will show you your menu items over here, and you can do different views if you want to make the buttons a little bigger or have pictures show up on them. Then you can choose those. Most people do this view because you can fit more on one screen. And that prevents having to scroll down. Up here at the top is a search field, so if you aren't sure where a certain item is, you can start typing the item and it'll show you what different menus and what categories it's in. So down here at the bottom is where you have different menus. Although your establishment may just have one menu, not every place has multiple. But if you do have multiple, you can choose the different menus down here. And then, of course, when you select that different menu, you're going to get the sections that are applied to that menu and the categories, or the items. So we're just going to stay in the food menu because that's where I got most of my test items at. And then these other buttons down here next to the menu are your categories. Heartland calls them sections. So to bring up an item, you just press on the item, and it adds it over here to the ticket view. Pretty simple. But now you might have some items that have some modifiers, so there are items that are going to ask you questions. So for that example, I'll go to entrees and I'll go to ribeye. So when you see this pop up, that means it's a required modifier. So that means I have to select something over here. Something has to be fulfilled. So it puts a red border around it if it's a required option. So I have to pick one of these right here. So I'll choose 8 ounce, and you notice that once I select it, the red border goes away. So I've fulfilled the required modifier for this size option here. Next, I have the modifier, how would you like to have that cooked? So again, red border, so I'm looking to select something, and once it's fulfilled, it gets rid of that red border. Same thing down here, I'll pick green beans. Now it says, what 2 sides would you like? And I just picked 1. And that's because I actually just have one, a required modifier 1 over here on this section, just in case they just want green beans and they don't see anything else that they want. But I put a max limit of 2, so I can't pick more than 2. It'll only let me pick 2. And once I pick something and go past that 2 limit, it'll take away the first choice that I made. I'm sorry, it takes away the last choice just made. Now if I want to unhighlight it, you just tap it again and it unhighlights it. Okay, and then if we, well, I'll get to that in a second. Okay, so now if I want to get back to my menu items, then I just tap over here in the total due area again, and it takes me back to my menu items. But now let's say I need to go back into this ribeye dinner because it wasn't supposed to be sweet corn, it was supposed to be a salad. So then I would tap on that item again, and I would unhighlight the sweet corn, and I would choose salad. Now salad I have as a special item because it's a modifier that needs to ask a question as well. So it's a modifier that's calling another modifier. So when that happens, it puts it up here by the menu item and puts it in red because it's required, of course. If it's not required, then it won't show in red. It'll just show up here at the top and not ask you to do anything extra. So I'll choose ranch for this required modifier, and now I've got that. Now at the bottom here, there may be more options that are just optional that don't have the red border. Sometimes that's the case, you have those, and then down at the very bottom, scroll down as far as you can go, there's special instructions. You notice it was over here on this one too. So if I wanted to leave a special instruction for the kitchen and say, or the order devices, if you don't have an actual kitchen, you say ranch on side, then that's just a way for me to communicate to the kitchen, or to the person making the food, I should say, so they see this at ranch on the side. That way I don't have to walk all the way back. If it's a long distance, I can stay out with the customer. So once you're done with that, you just tap in the field. Now, if I'm not looking to close this order, but just looking to save it, then I would just hit the send. I wish I could change this button to say send and save, but it doesn't. But this is a save as well. And what that'll do is it'll send the orders to the appropriate order devices, and it'll save the ticket without closing it. So you can go back into it at any point. And then if you're ready to close it, then you can go to checkout and apply the appropriate tender. And I'll show you how to do that in a different video. But for now, this is all on this one. Thanks for watching. Want to stay up to date on the latest tips and tricks? Don't forget to click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon.